we're making a brown butter, sage, and butternut penne. It is so insanely good. It's like almost too good to be believed. But then we're gonna top it with crispy prosciutto. Now, to make brown butter, you wanna start your pan with cold butter, cold pan, and then turn the heat on. Moderate heat is what you need. Don't put it on high, you'll burn the butter. We also infused flavor into the butter in that as soon as it foamed, as soon as it melts and begins to bubble, we added lots of big, beautiful leaves of sage. The sage kind of crisps and fries up in the butter. Right at the end of the process, you lift them out and put them off to the side, and we're gonna crumble them over the dish when we're done. But now all of our brown butter tastes like sage, so it's earthy and sexy and nutty. Smells amazing. Then we're going to add 1 large onion right to the melted butter, the sage butter. We're going to develop the sugars in the onions and let them cook along with the garlic and our squash. I'm gonna add a couple of cloves of garlic, 1 large sweet onion, right in the brown butter. A little salt to start drawing the liquids out. A little bit of pepper. And I'm gonna put a lid on this to kind of sweat it and let the juices start coming out while we talk about the squash. You need 2 pounds of squash and 2 cups of stock to make the sauce for our penne. You're gonna give it feet, make it flat, and then turn it as you're removing the peel in long, pretty strips. Discard your skin. And then we're gonna cut this into planks. And then you're gonna stack the planks. Make some bite-sized sticks across, turn it sideways, about the opposite direction, and you end up with fairly small cubes of squash. Then we're going to take the squash, and when the onions are tender, add the squash to the onions and pour in 2 cups of stock. Then I turn the heat up a little to medium-high to bring that stock to a quick boil and let that cook until the squash is tender. It'll be about 15 minutes depending on how big you cube them. You always want to undercook your pasta by at least 1 minute from al dente. Liberally salt the water. This is because it's the only chance you get to flavor the pasta itself, and because we're going to use that starchy, salty water to incorporate the sauce later. So we're gonna put in any shortcut pasta. You want at least 6 quarts of boiling water for a proper pot of pasta, in my opinion. Now, for the crispy prosciutto, this is about a quarter to a third of a pound. It's about 8 pieces of prosciutto. We're going to crisp it in a 375 oven. If you're the one that's cooking this, you're going to eat the equal amount that you need for the recipe before anybody comes to the table. So I would suggest buying 16 slices of prosciutto and making 2 trays. Prosciutto, single layer on parchment paper, leave it in the oven until it shrinks up and looks crispy. Take it out, let it cool a minute, crackle it up. I add a little hint of freshly grated nutmeg to our pureed squash sauce. So this is really just a combination of onions, garlic, the brown butter from making our crispy sage leaves, and the squash itself. All of the liquid comes out of the squash and the onions as they cook down. We added 2 cups of stock, we pureed it, and we end up with like 2.5, 3 quarts of sauce. It's a lot of sauce. We're gonna take that delicious, sweet, savory, nutty sauce and toss it with our undercooked shortcut pasta with limes, reserving some of our starchy cooking water right before we drain. Drain the pasta, put it right back in the hot pot to combine it with the sauce and the starchy liquid. Yeah. That's a hot tub of love. So, turn our sauce off. Beautiful. You take that velvety, buttery, disgustingly delicious butternut squash. Oh no. So a little splash of the starchy water. And then, as I said, my mama always put butter and cheese. We've already got butter in here, so lots of cheese. Then we stir that together for about a minute or so. And this is what I was talking about with the carryover cooking process. This is going to start to soak up the sauce, and it's going to finish cooking our pasta while the cheese is emulsifying into the sauce and everybody's coming together. All right, then we take our beautiful pasta, pour it into a huge serving bowl. And then we're going to top all of that delicious, cheesy squash sauce. We're gonna get in there with all of our crispy ham. I know, it's sick. And then we take all of our crispy sage leaves, throw those on top.